Okay, I'm going to show you how to actually access ebooks through MSU Libraries, two different catalogs, hopefully in the same video. So using the question from the English 603 Week 8, Question 8, as an example, we are supposed to find a more compact encyclopedia of people and movements important to the African diaspora in the United States, in reference to Harner Code Q3714, and we are supposed to present the conclusion of an entry about the art of August Wilson. So for this particular item, we look at Harner Code Q3714. We read the whole thing, find out that the more compact encyclopedia is actually the Oxford Companion to African American Literature, and not the actual Q3714, which is the Encyclopedia of African American Culture and History. So let's actually look at the catalog and see if we can find the Oxford Companion. So starting off on the library's homepage, you'll notice that we have the option here to search Worldcat for books, articles, DVDs, etc., etc. What we want to do actually is jump over here to online items. So by searching online items, we only search ebooks and a certain amount of web content. So it really cuts out all the extra, print books and articles and stuff like that that we're not actually looking for. So I'm going to type in the title, or paste in technically, the title of the item that we're looking for, which is the Oxford Companion to African American Literature, and let's search. Now we have our search results. You'll notice here at the top it is exactly what we're looking for, the Oxford Companion to African American Literature. You'll notice right here it is an ebook. This particular one is from '97, but it is what we have at our library. We can compare this to the Concise Oxford Companion to African American Literature from 2001, which is a Worldcat library item. So this is not something that we actually have access to at this point. So for this entry, this is what we want. We're going to click here to actually look at the catalog entry for it. So this catalog entry will provide you all the basic citation info for the item, and then links to the actual online item. So here we have our two main ways to access it: find a copy online and find a copy in the library. If we had it in print, it would give details here, but of course we're looking for the electronic version of it, which this is exactly what it's telling us, is that it exists in that form. So we come over here, find an online copy, and here we have links to this item. Now, one thing to keep in mind, links is usually the keyword you want to find. What is the link to the actual item? So we click here to actually link to it. So the link in our catalog brings us to NetLibrary, which is the database that actually houses the ebook. At this point, you have probably, if you're off campus, gone through the authentication process where you put in your MSU ID and email password. So now we should be able to access the ebook by clicking right here, View this ebook. I do have to warn you that if at any point while you're researching and you come across an ebook, you may get a message saying that you are not allowed to access it because someone else is actually viewing it. Just FYI, many of our ebooks, only one person is allowed to view it at a time. So sometimes you get an error message, but that's usually what it is. If you wait a few minutes or a half an hour or so, you'll usually be able to access it fairly easily then. So here we have the ebook. This is essentially a digitized book. So if you notice, you can go page by page through the ebook, which I will not do at this time. Over here are our table of contents. If we come over here, this is the actual portion that we're interested in, the main meat of this ebook. So I believe the question asks for information about August Wilson. We can come over here to the W's. Now let's head down to Wilson, August. And somewhere in here is the answer to our question. You'll notice we are on page 781, and yes, clicking to the next page will bring us to hopefully 782, yes. I have actually noticed that many people don't realize that they can just click through to flip the pages of the ebook. So that is essentially how you can access an ebook through Worldcat. I will now show how to do it through our Classic catalog. So now that we're back on the library homepage, you'll notice here again is where we went to search Worldcat for online items. In contrast, we have our Classic catalog, which will search only our material. Okay, now I will do a quick search by putting in the title of the item we're looking for. Make sure this actually set to title, and I will change the material to ebook and search. So here is our catalog entry for this particular title. Again, at the top we have our citation info. You'll notice down here this is usually where we have our holdings information if it were in print. But you don't want to click here for the electronic book. This isn't the actual link to the item. It just tells you about electronic books. Again, the magic word is links. So here's the content citation info, and here is the link to the actual item. And this will probably look familiar. This link heads us directly into NetLibrary again. So these are just the two most straightforward basic ways of searching for a particular ebook title in our two catalogs. I will create another quick video on how to search both of these two catalogs to find ebooks on a particular subject.